Hello everyone, welcome to the English YouTuber. So in today's grammar class, we are going to learn direct to indirect speech. So in this video, we're going to remember certain rules that we should implement while changing from direct to indirect speech. I'm going to teach you with examples and also there are going to be practice questions at the end. So before we change from direct to indirect, first let's see what a direct speech is. So direct speech are the actual words that are spoken in quoted inverted commas. Okay, like see there is a comma and there are inverted commas. So what a person has actually spoken. For example, mother said to me, "What are you doing?" So if you see in a direct speech, there's always a comma and then the first letter is always capital in the inverted comma. An indirect speech is a speech where someone else repeats what the speaker has said. So there is no comma or inverted commas used in an indirect speech. So if the same sentence we had to make it into an indirect speech, it would be mother. So now she's asking, what are you doing? So I will write mother asked me what I was doing. So normally when you change this, there's not going to be comma or inverted comma and you're going to change the tense. So are will become was. So as we go further, I will explain the various rules. So let's look at the first rule. We use the conjunction that when we change from direct to indirect speech. But there are certain exceptions. So if there are imperative or exclamatory sentences, then in such sentence we will not use that. So in case the verb uses says, think, asked, requested, mentioned or noticed in the sentence, the verb uses these. In that sentences that is not used. But otherwise it is used. Now let's see an example. Ram said, "This is the pen I like." So he is saying, "This is the pen I like." So Ram said. After that, we are going to use the conjunction that. So is, I told you, present will become past. So this was the pen he liked. So no comma, no double quotes. And we will use the conjunction that. And we will also change from present to past. That's it. It is very simple. Now let's go further and see other rules. Now before we see the change of tense here, I just want to show you this example. He says, "I am tired." So he says he is tired. So if you see here, the conjunction that was not used. Correct? So that is what I said. If the verb uses the word says, think, asked, requested and so on, we are not going to use the conjunction that. It is omitted, not necessary. Let's go to the second rule. The personal pronouns. What are personal pronouns? So personal pronouns are I, you, he, she, we, they. Okay. And possessive pronouns are, so the possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. So possession. And possessive adjectives are my, your, its, our, his, her. Okay. So these personal pronouns, possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives change when you change from direct to indirect. For example, Ram said to Reena, "I am all right, but you have hurt your arm." So when we change from direct to indirect, it is Ram told Reena that he was all right, but she had hurt her arm. So I became he, you became she, and your became her. See, I have made a table here. I and you will become he and she. My and your will become his and her. We and you will become they, and our and your will become their. Okay, so you can remember this. That is another rule when we change from direct to indirect. And the third is, I told you, right? There is a change in tense. But See, there's always a but in English, right? If the verb is in present or future tense, the tense of the verb when you change the report is not changed. Confused? Okay, let me explain. He says, I am tired. He says he is tired. Now, am present, it becomes is itself. He will say I was busy. वो बोलेगा कि वो busy था. So he will say that he was busy. So did you see? So if the verb is in present or future tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed. And if the reported verb now is in the past tense, then the tense of the verb in the reported speech is also changed to a form of the past tense. You can remember this table here, okay? So first let me give you an example. I said the weather is stormy, but we can go. तो मैंने बोला weather stormy है लेकिन हम जा सकते हैं. I said that the weather will become was stormy, but we will become could. Did you see? Can will become could, that we could go. But there's an exception to this rule. If the reported speech is a universal truth or a habitual fact, the tense of the verb is not changed to the past. So this is an exception. Remember these two. So if it's a universal truth or if it's a habitual fact, you will not change the verb to past. He said, I go to church every Sunday. So this is a habitual fact, right? I go to church every Sunday. He said, he, I will become he. So he, go will become goes to church every Sunday. Let's look at another example. Ram said, the sun rises in the east. This is a universal truth. So Ram said that the sun rises in the east. You do not change this into the past because it is a universal truth. If there are words that expresses either place or time, they are changed. Now, for example, if the sentence, there is the word now, now will become then, here will become there, thus will become so, this will become that, these will become those. So, it becomes further in distance, come will become go. Today will become that day. Yesterday will be the previous day. Tonight will become that night. Tomorrow will become the next day. Ago will become before. Hence will become thence. Okay. Let's look at an example. He said, it may rain tomorrow. He said that. So if you remember here, what did I say? May will become might. Didn't I say that? So here may is becoming might. So he said that it might rain. Now what will tomorrow become? The next day. So instead of tomorrow, I am writing the next day. So you have to remember these boxes that I have made so you don't make a mistake. He said, last night I met him. So he said that he had met him. वो मिल चुका है ना? So he had met him. So instead of last night, it will become the previous night. So he said that he had met him the previous night. I've written another example. He said, I met this woman 4 days ago. So I told you ago will become before. See? Yes. He said that I will become he. He met this woman 4 days before. Okay. So just when you learn that here will become there, this will become that, there is again an exception. So if this now here refers to some object, place or time, no change is made to the adjective or adverb in the reported speech. Like for example, the leader said, I will fight now or never. So the leader said that he would fight now or never. वो अभी या फिर कभी नहीं करेगा. So it refers to a time, no? So that is why you don't change it. That he would fight. So I will become he, that he will become would. Fight now or never. Then when WH questions come, where are all my papers? Said Ram to Sham. So उसने पूछा है ना. So Ram asked Sham where all his papers were. So when a WH question is asked, we use verbs like asked, enquired, wondered, demanded. Like if you see the previous question here, I changed the sentence to Ram asked Sham instead of the word said, right? So we're going to use verbs like asked, enquired, and so on. He said to me, do you know the way? तो उसने पूछा, तो उसने enquire किया. So he enquired of me if I knew the way. No will become new. You will become I. Now, while we're changing to imperative sentences, if it's a command, then he ordered or he bid or he warned. We're going to use words like that when we change from direct to indirect. If it's an advice, so we will write the word he advised or she urged. If it's a proposal, she advised or she suggested or she proposed. If it's a humble request, so he prayed or he begged or he entreated. If it's a request, so he requested or he asked. So let's look at an example. He said to her, please wait here till I return. Okay. So he is requesting. So he requested her to wait. Here will become there. To wait there till he returned. Okay. Hurry up, he said to us. Don't waste time. So he's telling us don't waste time. So it's like a command, an order. So he ordered us to hurry up and not waste time. So if you're changing exclamatory sentences, so if you see all these sentences have exclamation mark. So if you're changing the exclamatory from direct to indirect sentence, we are going to use the word exclaimed, applauded, if a person is appreciated, cried out, prayed, or angrily remarked if it's an angry sentence. So let's look at an example. What a terrible weather it is, he said. उसने exclaim किया है. So he exclaimed that it was a terrible weather. He said, God save my son. So he's praying. So he prayed to God to save his son. The teacher said, bravo. So it's like an appreciation. The teacher said, bravo, well played, Virat. So the teacher applauded Virat for playing well. Okay, so let's look at some practice questions now. So all the concept that we learned until now will be clear. So the first question, the poet said, sweet are the uses of adversity. So it is a fact, he is saying. So how are we going to change it? The poet said, we're going to use the conjunction that. The uses of adversity are sweet. So if you see, I did not change the tense because if it is a universal truth, we are not going to change the tense. The boy said, I have not been able to finish my homework this evening. So if we are changing the sentence, it will be the boy said, I will use the conjunction that. I will become he, have will become had. He had not been able to finish, my will become his. homework. This will become that evening. Okay, so I hope it's clear. The coach said to Nayan, you can swim, can't you? So he's asking a question, isn't it? Okay, so if it is a WH question, then that will not come. So the coach asked Nayan if he could swim. So that is how we're going to change it. I said to the porter, when does the next train come in? So in this sentence, I said to the porter, so if it's a question, WH question, you are asking. So I asked the porter when the next train would come. Kab aayega? So would come in. I said to him, let us go out for a walk today. So you are suggesting something. That is why I have written, I suggested to him that we should go out for a walk today. So today will become that day. Molly said, may I come in, ma'am? So Molly asked ma'am if she could come in. She's asking for permission, right? So Molly asked ma'am if she could come in. He said the Christians bury their dead. So this is a fact. It's a universal truth that the Christians bury their dead. So he said that the Christians bury their dead. So you're not going to change the sentence much. He said that the Christians bury their dead. That's it. So I hope all these 7 questions are clear. Now let's move to the next question. The doctor said to me, please sit down. So this is very simple. So if there is the word please, that is a request. So the doctor requested me to sit down. That's simple. Okay. Hurry. We have won, they said. So this is an exclamation mark. So they exclaimed. So they exclaimed that they had won. Or you can write they exclaimed with joy that they had won. The next sentence, the director said to his unit, do not leave the set till I say so. So here begin with the director advised. So the director advised his unit not to leave the set till I will become he, till he says so. So the sentence becomes, the director advised his unit not to leave the set till he says so. The next question, she said, the man has been visiting us regularly. She said that the man had been visiting them regularly. So this is how you change it. My father said, beware, all that glitters is not gold. So we have to end with was not gold. So beware. So he's warning us. So my father warned that all that glitters was not gold. The last question. Always cook with butter, said her mother. Never use margarine. So we have to begin with her mother advised. So her mother advised her to always cook with butter and never to use margarine. That's a very simple sentence. So that is the end of this video. So I hope you understood how to convert from direct to indirect sentence and also the various rules to remember while we convert them. Study well, practice numerous number of times so that all your questions, all your doubts will be cleared. All the very best and thank you for watching this video.